I'm going to find you not guilty. I think you violated the rule technically, but I'm putting myself in your shoes. Okay. First of all, I love it when a guy comes in and does exactly what you said. It's like I'm not arguing with the officer. I just had a different interpretation of what was safe than he does, because that's kind of what I'm hearing. So I first of all, I like to reward people that don't come up here and blow like a bunch of smoke at me, right? The other thing is, like I said, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, and I don't think, from what I'm hearing, I don't think for a minute you did what you did because you were in a hurry, or you did what you did because you were, not concerned with the safety of the children, or all those other reasons people do stupid stuff like pass a school bus. I think you made a legitimate call that he thinks is wrong, and I can agree with him. I could agree with him. But I'm not going to find you. I'm not going to hit you with this, giving you everything that I just heard. So not responsible.
The township was advised that we could only obtain those materials because they're not in our custody or control, the tax ledger itself. Through a FOIA, which I included the memo, I advised Mr. Mays, we're not trying to hide these materials. I have no intention giving it to him. I just don't have them. And the only way to receive them are through FOIA. If he has all these contacts and he can subpoena, then he's welcome to do that with these very documents he's requesting. So, I mean, and again, I think if we go through FOIA, which is what we were advised to do, it should be at their expense, because it's the value of the materials he's requesting aren't required for a casing sheet. I don't have to prove or provide documentation about some unrelated suspect that gave a breath sample in October of last year and didn't flow within the time frame and you got an error code. That's not relevant to my casing sheet.
All right. So just recap. You want me to order her to provide something that's not in her possession. I don't know that I've ever done that on any kind of case, civil, criminal, any kind of case. A. B, if this is something you can subpoena it.
If you enter an order,
Right.
I will give her the context that she can submit this to. Jeff and I work on it. And even though it's, when you say it's not in her possession or control, when she says it is, she just doesn't realize it. This is just like that Kyle V. Whitley case. The state of Louisiana said, hey, to the U.S. Supreme Court. If the police don't give it to the prosecutor, then how could we possibly know? And what the Supreme Court held in that case is, that would alleviate almost all responsibilities to the prosecutor if the police were allowed to just do this willy-nilly, number one. And two, it would require them the court to say, well, due process is met, even though the police actively hide.
You're missing my point. You just said you subpoena these kind of things all the time. So why would you even go through the discovery? You used the word subpoena a moment ago.
Production on 35th, just a couple weeks ago, for X amount of that. And just so that it's clear, the problem with Michigan State Police right, maybe they're behind, maybe they're trying to get this organized, I don't know. But this data that we're requesting, whereas the prosecutor describes it as onerous and voluminous, it's not. This is stuff that other states, when they have an Intox 9000, readily publish on the internet, so that any person can go and just click and look through all this data and be satisfied that a particular breath machine is working or not working. The fact that the MSP doesn't put it online, well, that's their bad. And this is her machine. And the way that I would get this, if we weren't going through just discovery, I'd file a motion to suppress the Intox 9000. Then she got to bring all these people down here in person and they'll produce these documents. And Mr. Nye was extremely pleased when I sent up in this order, it says you must provide this under 902 whatever,
Right.
with a seal and a signature. And he says, what's the purpose of it? And I said, you don't have to show up in court. And he goes, oh, that's wonderful. So what we need is an order. And I submitted an order, a proposed order to the court. And
So
I'll do it. I'll serve it because I got
your experience has been, I think you said 35th, that if you get a discovery order, you submitted it and it's not going to cost the township a thing.
Yeah, no.
All right. So let's just draft the order such that if it's going to incur any costs, we'll take another look at it before she signs a blank check.
Yeah.
Because that's all her only concern, right? That's your only concern. No, but your only concern is it's gonna cost the township money. Right. So,
Yeah, and before we cross that bridge, I would just give a footnote that when we come down to cost, I mean, if this is an onerous cost.
yeah,
Yeah, sure, we'll have to come back and
Yeah.
talk. But I don't think.
well, she wouldn't bother coming back to me for a $20 fee.
But when it comes to this is almost like for experts, you know?
Right.
I don't pay for my experts and my.
Right.
experts.
Right.
A bunch of.
Except she doesn't want her experts.
What's that?
She doesn't want her experts. She doesn't want them.
Do that, sure.
Right. So why don't you just you two have a little bit of conversation, figure out whatever language in the order that protects her checkbook, and I'll sign the order.
Yeah, I mean, come back on an issue of cost if we need to. Let's just enter the order.
Okay. All right. We're agreeing on the record that if there's a cost associated and you think it's too much, then just tell state police, hold off.
Yeah, that's.
Do I have a proposed order?
Yes.
I do. Okay. All right. So we're clear though.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign it. You're going to submit it to state police. If she finds out it's going to cost the township money, then we're just going to come back and talk about how much is too much.
Fair enough. Thank you, Judge.
Yeah. All right. But we got to do something with this before he gets it. I mean, there's only one copy.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Okay. Give us just a minute, Mr. Mays.
And as far as next date, we'll just work that out.
We wait for reading and stand mute. We've also had a chance to pre-try this case, Your Honor. In this matter, Ms. Halpern wishes to plead responsible to the civil infraction of careless driving with the understanding of the original charge of abuse. Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, you understand your rights and options after discussing those with Mr. Bowditch? You understand the possible penalty for the careless driving charge? You understand there'll be points on your record and so forth? Is that how you want to resolve this today, with a careless driving plea? Okay. I'll accept your plea to the civil infraction. I will dismiss the misdemeanor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Fines and costs, $250.
Not good for a payment plan.
Go on downstairs and they'll talk about options with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Delia Murphy. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you have declined a court-appointed attorney today? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you read your rights form, ma'am? You understand those rights and the options they give you today? You understand the possible penalty for the charge of violation of parental responsibility? Understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty? Are you doing so freely and voluntarily? All right. All right, so it looks like this is about your son, Jameson? Daughter Jameson? Okay, your daughter's name is Jameson?
Yes.
And how old is she? All right, so leading up to the date I've got on the ticket, May 6th, did your daughter miss a lot of school? How many days, if you know?
I'm not sure because last year we worked with me and my current school family as which is the issue to study, so I was right. So I didn't even know what this court date was about. I feel like I'm confused because my son goes to the same school as her. And I drive them both to school at the same time, so.
Okay. Okay. Does it make sense to you now?
I'm trying to understand you better, but
Okay.
I'm fucking today, I'm starting to have to look into it more because my son should have the same hours.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't be the first parent that dropped a kid off at school only to find out later that the kid didn't go to school. So that might be what's going on. All right. So, Madam Prosecutor, do you have any records about how many days were missed?
209 hours as of the date of 10 minutes.
Okay, that's a lot of hours. Okay. All right, I can accept your plea, ma'am. So the way this works is we're going to delay sentence for 12 months. First condition is you stay out of trouble, no new crimes. Second condition is no further problems with attendance with Jameson. All right. So if you're having any issues, and with a 15-year-old daughter, you might, Joe, you might want to reach out to this lady. She's our juvenile probation officer, Christine Oswald. So the way this works is within the next 12 months, if you commit any new crimes, you violate the terms. If we're having more attendance issues, it violates the terms. So if you see problems may be developing, you might want to reach out to Miss Oswald and see if she can help you get things on the right track. Any questions? All right. Anything else you want me to consider before I set the terms of sentence? All right. You understand the possible penalty for these charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty to each of these charges freely and voluntarily today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hadley, August 25, 23 incident dates, if you would voir dire for me, please.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Ms. McDaniel, on August 25th of 2023, were you present in Huron Township in the county of Wayne, state of Michigan?
Yes, sir.
And on that date and at that location, did you make an offensive or an unwelcomed touching of another individual that constituted assault and battery?
Yes, sir.
On that same date and time, did you make some actions that were uncooperative or in some way resisting law enforcement in the dispense of their duties?
Sir.
Your Honor, I believe the elements have been met for the resisting police and the assault and battery.
I'm satisfied. Ms. McDaniel, I got a really nice letter from your mother basically saying that you are not the same person you were a year ago.
I'm trying to change my ways.
All right.
Got myself enrolled into school, working 2 jobs, being a single mom, trying to do right for my son. So I'm just trying to clean up my record at this point.
All right. Where are you working at?
I was working at Leo's in Ypsilanti and then Taco Bell, but I was fired from both jobs since I've been incarcerated.
Sure. All right. How's your driver's license?
They're suspended. I have to clean up my record and take care of some unpaid court fines, and then hopefully I'll get them back.
Okay. And you're in custody right now only on these files, is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
Your Honor, we did have a discussion about some of the other district court matters that Ms. McDaniel's got open. She's aware of them and we discussed them, and it sounds like upon her release, that was the intent, was to go to Ypsilanti, go to Taylor, and get these issues resolved.
Just 2 courts, Mr. Hadley?
I think that we understood was it parking tickets that were still owed in Taylor, correct, Ms. McDaniel? It was yes, and then there was this other incident in Ypsi that is, yeah, I think pending. Is that correct, Ms. McDaniel? Okay.
Misdemeanor charges there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm certainly okay with giving you 11 days jail and giving you credit for that time. I'm wondering if we, you know what I'm thinking, Mr. Hadley, how can we help her get back on track?
Well, Ms. McDaniel, if the court put you on a period of probation upon your release, I mean, there are some great resources that this specific court has kind of afforded to defendants who are in tough spots. I don't know if that's something that the court's starting to kind of lean to, if that's what you're thinking, Your Honor.
Actually, I'm not even sure. Yeah, now that you're talking, I'm thinking, let's do this. I just want a commitment out of you, Miss McDaniel, that you're going to come up here and talk to me. So Mr. Hadley can help you get scheduled, so you know that when you're here, I'm available to talk to you. We might even be able to find you a job.
I think I might have a guaranteed job back at Leo's. I just have to reach out to the owner and just talk to him about it.
Okay.
Things have been pretty tight since I first got in there, so hopefully he'll let me back.
Okay. All right. I'd still like to have you come up here and talk, and maybe sit you down with Mr. Taylor and see what other resources he might be able to put you in touch with. It makes my tail wag to hear all the changes you're trying to make, but let's see if we can't help you make those changes a little bit faster. Okay? All right. So your sentence is 11 days credit. These 2 files are closed. Good luck.
Ms. McDaniel, we look forward to hearing from you upon your release, and the judge is sincere, so am I. Really, please reach out. We'll get up and help you get on your feet.
Just show up to the court and just like ask for you or something?
Yep, and Ms. McDaniel, my phone number will be on your court paperwork, so if you call up to the court.
To a case and a guilty plea on 23 HR 12802 B case.
Okay. All right. That was fun.
We got it all. I had to draw a couple of errors on my page.
Mr. Smith, did you discuss your rights and the options those rights give you with Mr. Hadley? You understand those? Do you understand the possible penalty for these two charges you're about to enter a guilty plea to? And understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty today freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
All right. I will give you incident dates if you will voir dire. On the draw while license suspended, it's August 7/24. And on the invalid ops, 12/7/23.
All right. This is 7th, 2023. You manage Huron Township ways. And on that date and time, were you operating as a vehicle with position without? Yes. And on the date of August 7th, 2024, also in Huron Township, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, were you stopped by the police driving without alcohol operations? Yes. Your Honor, I believe we have satisfied the elements of the two charges.
I do too.
Positively speaking, if the court's ready here, so be very.
Sure.
This individual has nothing imposing him from going and getting a license. He
Good.
Obtained a license.
We've never had one.
Never had it.
Okay.
So he's got a slight snag right now, the birth certificate that he's trying to get an original copy of in Ohio, kind of working through the logistics of getting a copy of that. So
Okay.
he has made attempts to get the license. That's the impediment.
Right.
And now, obviously, getting
Right.
these things paid off.
I see he owes us some money on some other files. Anywhere else that you owe money? Any other courts? Okay, all right. So logistically, he's got to get his birth certificate. He's got to go start the process with Secretary of State. Get all them, their hurdles covered, take the driving test. Okay. All right, are you working? When's the last time you worked?
That's, say last year.
Where were you working then? Okay. And why haven't you worked since December?
Yeah, applying for jobs, things like that, it's doing little side jobs, saving money I have, no jobs to really get in contact.
Okay, I'm having trouble making that fit with my knowledge of the world. So are you just applying online?
Yeah, doing the things like that.
Okay. All right, well, let me give you some wisdom, Mr. Smith. In my opinion, if you're looking for work, you got to work as hard to get a job as you plan on working at the job, and I think that's what you've been doing. Which means not very hard. When's the last time you applied for a job?
I applied for a job like 2 weeks ago.
Where at? Okay. Who do you live with? So she's feeding you?
Yeah, in a way, I still jobs. I do for money.
How much did you make on side jobs last week? Which probably fed you for 2 days, 3 days tops. You can go downstairs and set up some kind of a payment plan, make some kind of minimum payments. I'm perfectly fine with you setting it up to start in 30 days or something like that after you've got the job, but you got to get to work. If you want some help with that, if you're sincere about that, talk to Mr. Taylor downstairs, Avery Taylor. He's got a list of people in the area that are looking for employees. Good luck with your license.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Jaffe, are you ready on Bannon?
Ready, Your Honor.
Ms. Bannon, if you have a camera, activate it. There you go. Thank you. Counsel, what do we got?
Your Honor, this is a pretrial. My client has been charged with operating while intoxicated, and then there's a civil infraction. I have talked with the no proof of insurance, and limited access speed. From speaking with the township attorney, she has offered a plea to operating while visibly impaired in exchange for a dismissal of the civil infraction. I have fully advised my client. We've reviewed the body cam, the in-car camera video, and all the relevant circumstances. And at this time, I believe she is prepared to waive her right to a trial and plead guilty to operating while visibly impaired.
All right, counsel, I've got two civil infractions. I've got a speeding and a no proof of insurance. Are they both being dismissed as part of the plea?
That was my understanding, yes.
Okay, all right. So Ms. Bannon, first question, do you understand the possible penalty for impaired driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, second question, did you discuss your rights with Mr. Jaffe? Do you understand those rights and the options they give you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Understanding that, third question, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily to the added charge today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, on July 12, 2024, did you operate a vehicle in Huron Township?
Yes.
Prior to operating, did you consume some alcohol?
Yes, I drank and it affected my ability to drive.
Okay. Counsel, was there a data master or other
Yes, Your
blood?
Honor.
Yeah,
Yes.
what would you stipulate and what was it?
Will stipulate, and I will tell you in a moment.
Sure, take your time.
It was, Sarah, what was the blood alcohol level?
0.14, I believe it was in the field.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. It was a 0.1.
Okay. Okay. Counsel, are you satisfied that the facts have been met for a valid plea?
Your Honor, part one, there was a 0.14 and a 0.15, but yes, I'm satisfied that a basis has been made for the court to accept the plea, and I will indicate that I've had meaningful discussions with Ms. Bennett, wonderful person, extremely intelligent. She is most concerned, and we have discussed all aspects of this. And
Good.
And at this time, I'm satisfied that her decision to do so is knowing and clearly it's voluntary.
Wonderful. All right. So here's where we're at, Ms. Bannon. I've accepted your plea to the added charge. I've dismissed all the original charges. I'm going to place you on a personal bond and send your file to my probation department. The probation department's going to reach out to you and schedule a pre-sentence interview. Based on that interview, the probation department's going to prepare a report and a recommendation for sentencing. You and Mr. Jaffe will have a chance to look at that report. I'll look at that report, and then the three of us will meet again in person for a sentencing date. Do you understand the process from here on out?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. As far as your bond conditions, the first condition is the obvious one, you stay out of trouble. The second one is almost as obvious. You cooperate with probation, get through that interview process so we can get you back here for a sentencing date. And thirdly, I don't want you to purchase, possess, or consume any mood-altering substance unless you've got a doctor's prescription. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm and acknowledge the debt payable to the court in the amount of $1,000 if you mess up on bond?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for myself or your attorney before I terminate the meeting?
For this in-person interview, for the follow-up in person, I'm currently residing in the state of Washington. Is there?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. We'll be able to figure this out on Zoom. Probation will work that out with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Counsel,
Thank you.
anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank
You two
Combination.
have a, I'm sorry, counsel, go ahead.
Okay. Sarah, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
You two have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, better make a note. of that.
Your Honor, what do?
Yeah.
Will probation contact my client, or does she have the obligation to do so?
Well, they'll reach out to her. Let's make sure we got good information because we're still showing her address on King Road.
No, her address is in Othello, Washington, but her telephone number remains the same.
You got that? You got
Yeah,
telephone number?
same.
Got an email too?
I don't think I have.
Your Honor, I can provide the court or your assistant with Ms. Bannon's email. It's
Okay, I think we got it. Ask Bannon.
Correct.
All right, so probation will reach out to you and counsel will be talking to you as well to pick a sentencing date.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice day.
Okay.
Who, this must be Hudson. This is a set of.
Welcome.
What is your name, please? You don't have good service. What did you say?
Francois Fleming.
Terrible audio.
On the iPad, what is your name?
Terry Crews.
Were you?
She's scheduled at 8 o'clock this morning.
I got an email
Okay,
to
so
do the Zoom at 10
okay.
instead of 8:30.
Do you need court-appointed attorney, or do you want to talk to the prosecutor yourself?
I would like to talk to the prosecutor myself.
Okay.
Counsel, your appearance on Hudson.
But we don't.
Good morning, Attorney Ron McCool on behalf of Malcolm Hudson.
All right. And are you waiving your client's presence, counsel?
For purposes of, if the court is willing to accept that, yes, I am, and this is a set aside motion.
All right. All right, I have not received any notice of any objections, counsel. Miss Foley Carter, any objections on the set aside for Malcolm Hudson?
Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, assuming he's eligible, I have no objection to setting aside.
Yeah, that's what the state said he was eligible. Counsel, did you submit an order already?
No, Your Honor, I've got it drafted. I can send it, I can email it in a moment.
Yeah, email it to Heather. You got Heather's email address?
You don't know if I have Heather's directly. What is Heather's email?
I'll put it in the chat.
It was, but Your Honor, I don't know if you remember like the other problems I had, and with the alcohol and then with medical. So I was absent for about 8 months last year, or within the last year.
Right.
Yes, it started March of 2023, and so that's all resolved.
And what's going on with your life now?
Good. I finished. Well, I was a couple days short of finishing the rehabilitation. I went to Brighton Recovery.
Where at?
Brighton Recovery.
Good.
And I was going to go to the halfway house after.
Yep.
But since I tested positive for COVID, I have to get 2 negative tests.
Right.
I have to wait 5 days, get 2 negative.
Okay.
And then they still have a spot for me at the halfway house.
Good. So how many days of sobriety do you have now?
Now I have almost a month.
Beautiful. And health wise, how's your health been? Other than the
A lot
COVID
better.
test. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot better with the things that my physical therapist and occupational therapist have taught me. And then I'm doing yoga and meditation and things, acupuncture. Brighton taught me a lot.
Good. How long you been at Brighton then? A month, basically?
Almost, yep. I should have been out today or tomorrow, but then a couple days ago is when I tested
COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds like things are looking up.
They are.
Good. Good.
I didn't know this was for Carlos because I don't have the paper, but I was wondering if my license is suspended. It says I have, when I looked it up, it said I have a temporary license.
All right, well, you're certainly not suspended about this charge.
Yeah,
My secretary just walked out of the courtroom. When she gets back, I'm gonna leave you on Zoom while I take care of some other business, but I'll have her
okay,
run the computer and see if we can figure that out for you.
that would be
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so
Because I
how's
haven't,
Carlos? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I haven't driven in quite some time. Actually, I
Okay,
had my older daughter come and take my car and hide it.
okay, good. So
You know,
how's
just
Carlos doing in school?
well, he hasn't started back, but he did pass. So he's going into 6th grade at Renton this year.
How did he do last
And
year? Is he struggling in school? Does he generally do well? Does he generally have a hard time?
he generally he's usually in a resource room, part
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
he does struggle some, with, you know, he's a bit hyper and,
okay,
he hasn't been diagnosed, and none of the
right,
teachers feel that he has a learning disability.
okay,
But I think a lot of it, I blame myself.
yeah, yeah. All right, so here's what I want to do. So let's get back to business. I got a sentence you on this chart. So I'm going to delay sentence for 12 months. During that 12 months, you stay out of trouble. No new crimes.
Hmm.
As far as Carlos is concerned, if there's any further attendance problems, that might violate the terms of this agreement. That means you could be punished. So if when school starts, Carlos is having any problems with attendance or anything else for that matter, I want you to reach out to us because we've got a lot of resources here at the court that can help Carlos and you.
Okay.
So don't I don't want you to let a tiny problem become a big enough problem that it causes me to sentence you on this charge. I'd rather have you come to us for help when it's early and we can fix little problems.
Okay.
All
I
right?
appreciate that, Your
Okay.
Honor.
So any questions about this file?
Nope.
All right.
The prosecutor
Okay.
explained everything, and I don't foresee any problems. So I'm taking responsibility and going to make sure that he's at school every day.
Okay. All right. And as far as court costs, I'm assessing $150. You've already posted that, so that's going to close that out. So you don't have to worry
Okay.
about any money on that file. As far as your driving privileges, you're currently showing as disqualified, not valid.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, and I have to wait for that case to find out more.
Okay. Anything else we can do for you?
No, Your Honor, I appreciate it. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Good luck with Brighton.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
You as well. Are we ready on Michael Walker? Mr. Walker, come on up and have a seat. You don't have to jump up. They taught her in law school to do that. Go ahead. Go ahead and have a seat. Yeah. Date and time set for a formal hearing. Are we ready? And Mr. Walker, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. Thank you. Officer, watch your step on my incline ramp. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Have a seat right there. Ready when you are.
Awesome, you can just state your name for the record.
Officer Adam Shannon,
And how many employees?
police officer from the Parental Township Police Department,
How long have you been in for the township?
approximately 7.5 years.
And what are your general duties as a police officer in the township?
I'm assigned to the traffic lieutenant.
And were you on duty on May 13th of this year, approximately 4 in the afternoon?
I was.
And at that time, what were you doing?
We were conducting a school bus detail throughout the township with all the traffic unit.
And what road were you on?
Walls Road.
Is that in our township?
Yes,
Were you in a full emergency? And at about that time, did you have the occasion to conduct a traffic stop?
I did.
What happened?
As the school bus was slowing down to release kids at one of the last houses on Walls Road near Willow, the yellow lights were flashing. I observed a blue Chevy Trax going northbound on Walls Road. Slowing down, I confirmed it with my radar, so I figured he was gonna stop. As the bus stopped, lights turned red, vehicle continued to pass.
Okay, and at that time, was the school bus stopped?
Yes,
Yes. And, you said the school bus was displaying flashing lights,
yes,
and what color were they?
red.
And what do flashing red lights on the school bus indicate colors?
Stop as the kid practicing.
And to be clear, the respondent did not come to a full stop while those lights were located,
Correct,
and said he passed the school bus.
correct.
Officer, based on the traffic violation, did you initiate a traffic stop?
I did,
Did you approach the vehicle?
I did.
Who was in the vehicle?
Mr. Walker,
And do you see him in court today?
I do.
Can you identify him based on what he was wearing?
Blue polo.
The record reflect the officers identified.
Noted.
And did you approach the vehicle?
I did,
Did you tell him the reason to stop?
I did.
What was that reason?
That you, went through the red light or the flashing red at the school bus.
And what, if anything, did he say to you?
He said that the bus was still moving when he was passing him and figured he was.
And
I'm sorry, I missed that. And figured what?
did you get your citation?
I did,
What was the citation for?
for the running of the school bus lights.
And other questions?
Thank you. And Mr. Walker, any questions for the officer?
Just about everything.
Okay, you can step down. Anything else from the people? Your turn. You can stay there. Let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm that what you're gonna tell me is true to the best of your faith knowledge and belief?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Pretty much everything he said. I was there, I was slowing down, the bus was still approaching. There was no street or corner that I knew where it was stopping, so I didn't know to stop. As I was approaching, like you said, I slowed down.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. Which direction were you headed?
I was headed north,
Was the bus going north or coming at you?
the bus was headed south.
Okay,
So the bus was headed in the south direction, I was headed north. I did slow down, just like he said. As it kept coming, it was to the point where I was close enough to where I looked up, it was still yellow. I proceeded past it. And that's it. I looked up, it was still yellow, I never saw a sign come off the side, and I proceeded past it. And that's the only difference of it. I went to look for video of it, and it was deleted already. If there's 60 days, I guess they roll off. It's within like a few feet boundary of, it was still at me, and I was at the nose of it. When I looked up, it was still yellow. As I got down the side of it, was it probably red? Yes. I don't know how much further it went before it flashed red or when it went. When I saw it be yellow, so I proceeded past. And that's the only difference.
just Mr. Walker. Okay. Any rebuttal?
Well, I do. Can I call the officer?
Sure. You're still under oath, Officer Sheehan. Go ahead.
Blue Chevrolet vehicles.
I saw it before he was even, as he was still approaching him, but,
And about how far would you estimate that?
probably 40, 50 feet.
And you had him in a clear vision enough so that your radar was picking up the fact that he was slowing down.
Correct,
And it's your testimony today that when he passed that school bus, the lights were flashing red.
correct.
And you were able to see that based upon your view of the vehicle, because it was the other lane.
Correct.
I have no questions.
Where were you located?
I was driving behind the school bus.
All right. So could you tell? I'm trying to figure out the wording of this. In relationship to the bus, do you know where Mr. Walker's car was when the bus lights started from yellow to red?
From what I can tell.
Did you understand that question?
Right at the nose when it started turning red.
Okay.
I did ask him too, what do yellow lights mean on a bus? He said slow, prepare to stop. So he did acknowledge that yellow lights do mean slow, prepare to stop.
And you had slowed. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions for the officer?
Not in the least. It's the same thing. It's within 10 feet. That normally I would still do the same thing because like he said, I was still at the nose, probably in that general area of when it turned. If I was at the nose when it changed, I could have slammed down the brakes, yes. But I would have been already, to me, I was at that point, so I proceeded past it to clear anything else that was around it and that's slam on brakes. But we're within a couple of feet range by the sounds of exactly what he's saying and what I'm saying. as it's coming, how close was I to the front of it and able to stop? Like he said, I did slow down as I was, came to that point, so I proceeded past it.
Okay. All right. You can step down. Any other questions? Any argument? Yeah, go ahead.
Was going down, and did have the vision in order to stop. He chose not to, when the red lights were flashing, and went through the stop school bus. You could ask me to find him responsible.
Okay. It's been a long time. Hold on a minute. It's been a long time since I've actually looked at the statute. The requirement is that he not pass when the red lights are on, correct? So I think we all would agree that there's at some point where the transition from yellow to red, there's got to be some discretion in there whether or not the driver stops or doesn't stop. How do we make that? And I'm just trying to think this thing through. So I'm going to ask if it's all right with both of you. I just want to get the officer's impression. Yeah.
My normal thing when we do these details all the time.
Yeah. Nothing new.
I observe the vehicle pass the driver's area of the bus, like towards the middle of the bus, and it turns red. Usually I let that pass me, but he was towards the nose of the bus, plenty of time to stop, and just like the yellow light, just level pairs.
Yeah. What do you mean? But what do you mean by towards the nose of the bus?
Like right towards where the engine.
Like nose to nose as they're coming? Like lined up.
Right in front.
Yeah.
And then my thing is my grace period.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
If you're past the middle part of the bus, I'll.
Right. Because I'm assuming, because in your mind, that would not be a safe stop at that point. Okay.
Then you're stopping essentially right where the kids are going to be.
Okay. All right. Questions?
I somewhat agree, but again, I was at that point
Right.
that when I looked up at the nose, it was still there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with him, but
No.
I would have stopped on the side.
No.
Could I have stopped on the side? But to me, like he kind of said, once I was at the nose, and to me, it was still moving. So I didn't know, it wasn't like
Right.
people were at a crossroad.
Right.
That, they're gonna stop at the corner. They were stopping in a driveway or something, so I didn't know if it was.
Right.
If we're still moving, I'm like, I don't know if he's stopping here, do I stop and then it goes past me? Or do I just, we're nose to nose, do I proceed past?
Yep. Okay. Anything else? All right. I'm going to find you not guilty. I think you violated the rule technically, but I'm putting myself in your shoes. Okay. First of all, I love it when a guy comes in and does exactly what you said. It's like I'm not arguing with the officer. I just had a different interpretation of what was safe than he does. Because that's kind of what I'm hearing. So I first of all, I like to reward people that don't come up here and blow like a bunch of smoke at me, right? The other thing is, like I said, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. And I don't think, from what I'm hearing, I don't think for a minute you did what you did because you were in a hurry, or you did what you did because you were, not concerned with the safety of the children, or all those other reasons people do stupid stuff like pass a school bus. I think you made a legitimate call that he thinks is wrong, and I can agree with him. I could agree with him. But I'm not going to find you. I'm not going to hit you with this, giving you everything that I just heard. So not responsible. But you posted some money, so you're going to get money back. Thank you, Officer Sheehan.
This courtroom hearing begins like dozens of other routine cases. Plea deals, traffic violations, and quick legal arguments. But then a young woman appears through Zoom from jail, and suddenly the entire room changes. She's been locked up for nearly a year, facing assault and resisting police charges, and everyone expects another standard sentencing hearing. Instead, the judge starts hearing something very different. After pleading guilty, the woman quietly explains how much her life has changed since her arrest. She says she's trying to become a better person, working jobs, raising her son alone, and cleaning up the mistakes that destroyed her future. I'm trying to change my ways, trying to do right for my son. The judge then reads a heartfelt letter from her mother, a letter describing how this woman is no longer the same person she used to be. And for a moment, the courtroom stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like someone desperately trying to rebuild their life from the ground up. The judge could have simply sentenced her and moved on, but instead he pauses and asks one important question. How can we help her get back on track? That single sentence changes everything. Rather than only focusing on jail time, the judge begins discussing jobs, community resources, support programs, and ways to help her restart her life after release. Even her attorney seems surprised as the hearing turns from punishment into genuine concern. Then the judge delivers the emotional moment that defines the entire hearing. It makes my tail wag to hear all the changes you're trying to make. The courtroom actually softens. You can hear the encouragement in the judge's voice as he tells her to return after release so the court can help connect her with jobs and resources instead of simply throwing her away. In the end, the judge sentences her to time already served and closes the cases, but not before making it clear that this may be her last real opportunity to completely change her future. And it leaves one powerful question behind. When someone truly wants to rebuild their life after jail, should courts focus more on punishment or on helping people become productive again before they fall back into the same cycle? Comment below what you think.